All right, record has been hit.
All right.
So we're gonna let the music play a little bit here.
This is take 3 of the goat pen tonight.
Yes, it shouldn't be that complicated, but
take 3, guts.
And you never, I mean, let's be honest, man, you can't get tired of this song.
No,
you really can't.
It's still good, just
it's
like it was
tune,
5
man.
minutes ago.
Great tune, man. But anywho, man, hey, welcome, man. Welcome. Fridays at 5 with the Goat Pen, man. And we got a special guest here tonight with us. Thank you guys for joining us. Remember to like and subscribe. Guys, I want to introduce you to Mr. Trey Bowen. Stuntman extraordinaire, architectural designer. I can't say enough about it, man. He's a great dude. He's also my next door neighbor, man, and throws some of the man, just they're off the hook parties, man. We're talking water slides, ramps with flaming rings, to jump his 4-wheeler over. It's something to behold. I'm gonna there'll be some video posted here, so I'll put it in the podcast and let you kind of check it out because I remember my wife, we went to the 4th of July party and my wife said, "Are all American parties like this?" I'm like, no, not even close, so, but yeah, guys, meet Trey, man. Trey.
Oh, nice to be on here. Never talked into a mic before, but it's pretty cool being on the podcast, the first podcast.
Well, welcome, man. Welcome. We started this. We've been doing this almost a year now.
Yep.
And, so slowly building a following. And, dude, this is a Goat Pen, man. We talk about everything and nothing, man. The only 2 things off limits are politics and religion. We don't talk about that, But, yeah, and then we have, of course, we have our Sasha Cam, which she's over here with Trey right now, so. But yeah, the way the equipment is set up is when you and I talk, that camera turns on. When DP talks, the camera automatically switches to him. Okay. So up here on the monitor, you can see what's going on at any given time, so.
Okay. I'm a slow learner, so
No.
I'll be looking at the wrong place every time.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
All right.
No,
no worries, man. No worries. So that, just remember, we're actually on this camera over here. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, man, because it helps build a following, man. It helps us out, and we want to be able to fund the show and bring you guys all the greatest stuff about nothing, because that's what we talk about,
nothing important.
So what's the plans for the snowpocalypse?
I don't know. Hopefully, be off work on Monday if that's the goal.
Yeah.
Maybe just do some on-call stuff, but maybe play in it a little bit.
I expect you to see you out there with the 4-wheeler.
Yeah, we'll see. I got most of my bikes are down right now. So
oh shit!
I'm working on them.
All right.
So I don't know if I'll be able to get the one that I know. I hadn't run it in a while, so I think the battery's probably. Maybe I'll throw it in the charger, and if it fires up, okay.
I'll definitely have that ready for.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Ready for the snowstorm, and that's as you can see, that's Sasha's Valentine's bandana that Jew bought her. So nice. Hogging her camera up. Yeah, we have our own Sasha cam down here. So
is it activated when she makes noise or anything?
No, I have to manually switch that one over.
Okay.
So
yeah, cool.
What are you doing? So we were talking. I know you're a big fan of music. So earlier tonight, DP and I were reminiscing about some Elton John and Billy Joel, and I know I hear a lot of times I come outside to smoke a cigarette and I hear just a wide variety of music from Trey, man, because you're all over the place, man.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on mood,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a Hank Williams country, or Travis Tritt, or I grew up in the 90s, so it's 90s country music is what the first kind of music I listened to, when mom was driving around in the station wagon, dropping us off at school and stuff. It's, Garth Brooks or John Michael Montgomery or something like that.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
And
good
then kind of branched out into, I think the first rock and roll I remember hearing was like probably Aerosmith and Def Leppard.
Oh, yeah.
They were the first 2 bands. I was like, oh, this is a lot different.
Yes, I'm still a huge Def Leppard fan.
And I listened to them for a while, and mainly it was just Dad's CDs he forgot he had. and just would play them in the stereo. And then I kind of graduated to more harder stuff as time went on. But now I mostly listen to metal, but all kinds of metal, like death metal or just melodic.
I hear a lot of that. I hear
that's-
some grindcore coming out of there, and
Yeah.
you know, I turned DP on to a band tonight that I just discovered called Magnolia Park.
Okay.
Man, they're cool. They're cool. You would
I
dig
enjoyed
them.
that.
Yeah, you would dig them.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Check out Magnolia Park, man. Very very unique band. Definitely different sounding. So, but check them out.
I'm always looking for that, something that's like a little bit different, but I'm not that good with change, so maybe not so different, but a good metal band that I've liked recently that's different, that's kind of modern sounding and real tech, kind of has some techno in there, is a band called The Browning.
Oh, not familiar with them.
And
Okay.
I've seen them in Greensboro once. I think they're playing again this year.
Okay.
The Hangar 1819 or something like that.
Yeah. I've heard of that place.
And the Browning's really cool. They have like it's like probably 30% techno-y, and then the other 70 is like a good death metal.
Okay. All right.
But they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in checking them out.
Their names are always interesting because you want a name that's like easy to remember. So I bet a lot of bands are like, man, we gotta get a name that's rememberable, but at the same time, like it doesn't sound boring.
Honestly, the Browning to me,
I like it because it's easy to remember. Like
it is easy to remember.
Yeah,
sounds like something would happen to a marshmallow over.
I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure the reason for the name, but
I think they get into a lot of like areas they're not supposed to just because of their name. They're like, okay, the Browning, that sounds interesting. And then they're the only metal band there. So.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, yeah. I'm all. I'm kind of jaded when it comes to that stuff because being a musician for 40 years now, and playing all these shows and doing sound for all these shows, it takes a lot for me to really go, oh wow, I like what I'm hearing. Something it's warm to my ear, and I kind of I like melody, I like hooks, be it hard rock, be it country, be it whatever. I just I've always said when I describe music to people that music to me has colors. To me, an A chord is red, a G chord is yellow, a D chord is blue, and that's what I hear when I hear music played. Versus your minor chords, which are a lot darker, your purples and your blacks and your browns. So yeah, I kind of. No, it sounds ridiculous, but I kind of hear colors. There's, it's a feeling, it's a mood. But yeah, melody, anything with a hook. That I was telling you. When we saw that band Marigold.
I really enjoyed that band.
Yeah, man, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, they're very incredibly catchy, and I've always made a joke, that says, in my mind, if you want a band or an artist to be doomed to obscurity, let me like them. I'll make sure that they will never get fame or recognition. I can promise you that. Because that seems to happen with so many of the bands that I really like. My favorite band of all time is King's X. A lot of people have never heard of them, much less heard them.
I actually saw them play one time.
Yeah, they're incredible, especially live. Man, my God, are they incredible live? Sass Jordan. Never made it as big as she should have. Incredible artist. Marigold. What happened? The Grays. What happened? They got a little bit of radio play, but never got to where, in my mind, they were so much better than what you were hearing on the radio. They should have been there. But again, thank God I'm not a record executive. But yeah. So yeah, go back to what we were talking about, Trey. I hear all kinds of different music coming from your garage. When you're out there working, and a lot of it, I'm like, huh. Yeah, and believe it or not, if you look over, sometimes you'll see me hold my phone in the air with a Shazam going, who is that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Besides metal and like '90s country, I like Ace of Base. Music like that, like 80s. And my wife likes a lot of 80s music, so
Yeah.
Like
Well, dude, the
Talking Heads
80s
kinda
were,
stuff. Yeah.
gold. And again, we were talking about Def Leppard. There's a 40-year anniversary Def Leppard collection right there from Pyromania. That was what changed my whole life, was seeing Photograph on MTV. And I see the girls and the rock music and the British flag, and I'm just like, I want to do that, and that just, that was it. And so if you look over there, the black guitar that's hanging up, with the white pickups, that's a Phil Collen model Ibanez Destroyer, 1984. From that, that was the same exact guitar that he played. I mean, not the exact one, but the model is the same exact one he played. So
Cool. Yeah, I think everybody has that time when they can say like for me it was that Aerosmith Pump album that really turned me on to
Incredible album.
That was a great album.
God.
I like that one a lot. And
Yeah.
I remember coming home from school and there'd be Garfield on and MTV. And
all the videos had Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler, his daughter, in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
incredible.
were
man.
good videos, man.
I was telling Fig, man, that's
Good album.
when we start doing the studio video stuff, one of the tunes I want to do, I think it's written up there. Right underneath the Frisbee there, Pink. I want to do a version of Aerosmith's Pink. That's a great tune, man. That's a great tune. I got to find somebody who plays harmonica though. It's got a big harmonica part in it.
Yeah, a lot of old school Aerosmith fans don't like the newer, like the Pump.
I liked it all, man. I loved
liked
it all
as well.
Yeah, I love the vintage
Especially,
stuff,
like,
man.
The Pump album, I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
Rocks, Toys in the Attic,
Toys
and,
in the Attic. Yeah,
all the way to Permanent Vacation. Even Done with Mirrors, man. I love Done with Mirrors. That's a great album to me.
Yeah, I liked how kind of I guess just knew it was to me. I was a kid then, but like MTV was kind of still good then, I thought, and
Right.
still playing music.
and
Yeah.
Collective Soul, I remember. had a
Yeah,
song
yeah.
at the
Saw those guys
time.
live, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I liked them as a kid too, and I started hearing things other than country music, which I mean, I still go back to country music a lot, but I kind of just started listening to more and more harder rock, but grunge. I like grunge too.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like grunge that
Well,
much.
I was kind of selective about the grunge stuff. Now, I thought to me, and you gotta say what you want to, man. Nirvana was the most overrated band ever. I'm sorry. They set a standard that when they hit it big and started selling millions of albums, I was convinced that all the record execs left L.A., where all the hair metal was. They moved to Seattle, and they were just driving around suburbia, signing all these garage bands that were like, "Hey, kid, don't worry about tuning that thing. We'll show you how to do that later. Just sign here."
Yeah.
And there was from that era, to me, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, of course, Stone Temple Pilots was actually out of San Diego. They were not a Seattle band, but they kind of fell into that grunge scene. To me, these bands were so much better, so much than Nirvana. Again, my opinion only. But
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I remember I lost all respect for Rolling Stone, and to this day, fuck you, Rolling Stone. How the fuck do you rank Kurt Cobain a better guitar player than Eddie Van Halen?
Oh my God.
Seriously?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think bands like Nirvana at the time, it kind of like when you saw all that like hair metal bands and stuff, they look so awesome and over the top. You can't really, or at least I couldn't as a kid. I think they were awesome, and that's what I really liked.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I couldn't relate in a way. They were like more like angel status almost.
It
like
was
you can't-
weird.
So
Yeah.
when Nirvana was,
They were
out-
rock stars.
Yeah.
Nirvana to me
Yeah.
never. They
Yeah.
weren't rock stars. They just.
These dudes from the 80s had big hair, makeup.
Yeah. Platform
They didn't
shoes.
give a shit.
Yeah.
No.
And,
No.
I do think some people could relate more to Nirvana.
It was just
'cause
such
they-
it was such a tasty era of music.
Yeah. It was all good times.
Yeah.
All happy good times. And then the ballad era came in, and they were, all the bands were, all the record companies required them to have at least a ballad, which
yeah.
was cool because a lot of them were great tunes, man.
Yeah,
a lot of them were good.
I mean, that Poison song, Every Rose Has.
Yeah. Tesla,
all right.
Love Song, man. That's
that
one of
was
the
a
best
good one.
ones.
That was a good one.
But yeah, it's I don't know, man. I kind of at the same time, I was still tired of the hair metal because it had become a cliche of itself. It really was because dude, it was like a cookie cutter, man. It was like a factory just pumping these damn things out,
Yeah.
And some of them weren't that good. But for the most part, that was the true what they call gunslingers, man. That's where the real guitar players were coming from. George Lynch and Warren D. Martini and Eddie Van Halen. These guys were just crushing it. I didn't grasp what grunge was doing. And then one day I sat down and really listened to what Soundgarden was doing with all these weird tunings. I'm like, oh, okay. And Jerry Cantrell. And I'm like, okay, all right, I get it now. I get it. So.
Yeah, and I think if you see something enough, like it kind of becomes like the hair metal thing. If you see it long enough, you eventually kind of start like you like it, but you might
You tire
start
of it.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
start looking for something else. So
Yeah,
then
yeah.
a band like Nirvana is kind of like very, well, I mean, grunge was the perfect word to describe bands like that, and they were kind of pretty relatable to kids at the time that were kind of like wanting to do something different than their generation slightly before them. So they were
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
and they kind of maybe related more to the flannel shirt, the strings hanging out from the top of the guitar.
Maybe
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
they just kind of like that, and then, generations change. Like you'll start, tucking your shirt in more when you're at a certain age. When that was what your great grandpa did. Your dad before he
Yeah,
never wanted
and-
to tuck his shirt in. We
I-
kind of
I-
go through phases of.
And I get it. And a guilty pleasure of mine from the 90s, we call it what you want, power punk. Those bands, and Green Day kind of set that whole trend off. And I guess it was 94-ish because they came along after Nirvana.
Yeah.
Dookie came out in, I think it was 94.
I had that.
Believe it was
Um,
94.
So they set a whole new genre, of almost like a polished punk, kind of thing. The harmony vocals, with the very fast paced, raw guitar, some 41, Blink 182. One of my favorites, Simple Plan, man. I love Simple Plan. I do, I was like, again, it's a guilty pleasure. I love that power punk scene, man, because it's hooky. It's just got
Right.
some great, catchy shit that, sticks in your head, there was a lot of stuff from the 90s that I do remember I really got into. I really dug,
Yeah, I had the Dookie album, and I remember playing it a lot in the '85 Trans Am with the T-tops out.
Oh,
and
dude, that's
T-top.
brutal. That's
you couldn't-
awesome,
You
man.
couldn't tell me nothing like at 10 o'clock at night, when you're
What
not-
happened to
yeah.
T-tops, by the way?
I don't
What
know,
happened
man.
to
I
T-tops,
don't know.
man?
It took me a lot of money to get that.
They always looked like they
$2,000
were kind of a
car,
pain in the butt to mess with.
but, not as hard as you think. They're heavy.
Not really.
They were heavy.
You got to store them in the back of your car while you're driving.
They store
right?
in the back.
But they had
pretty
a
easy.
slot that you would lock them
Yeah.
down into.
Yeah.
T-tops are out today, fellas.
You can't find a car. Unless you buy a vintage car, you're not going to find one with T-tops.
Most of the time they rusted really bad. So
Did you have the
they
big
leaked
bird
out.
on the hood? Did you? Oh, you
No,
didn't
mine
have
was a
oh,
third. Mine was a what? I guess it's the third gen car, so it
Okay.
didn't have the
Yeah,
bird
yeah,
on the hood. But and it was the worst of all the Firebirds to have was that generation. But they looked pretty sick.
I disagree. I disagree.
they
The
look sick.
GTA to me was one of my favorites, man.
The GTA Trans Am was actually pretty
Yeah,
performance, but all the other Firebirds were not that performance ridden unless you had a Formula. Or
Formulas were,
or
yeah.
the GTA Trans Am
Yeah.
was that.
I think both of
turbo
those had the
V6.
350s in them.
Yeah, the GTA Trans Am had a V6 twin turbo from the Buick Grand National. That's why it was pretty quick. But that one was good. But I just had a 85 base, but it was
Still,
a Trans Am. It had T-tops.
that would've
and it
had
looked cool.
the-
Everybody thought it was cool because
That would have had the 305 in it, right?
Yeah, it was a dog. It was a
Those,
dog.
those engines were horrible,
But
man.
my parents were cool with it because they were like, "Well, he ain't gonna get in so much trouble with a 305." But it sounded good.
Watch
because
me.
the Blowmaster was- and that's all that mattered was that it sounded good, and all of my friends thought you had something cool because it was
Yeah.
too old that most people didn't know what it kind of was, and it was cheap. It only cost $2,000 to buy it. So
Well,
it cost more money to fix the T-tops than it did the whole car was worth.
And again, man, you were talking about the rust thing. So one of the biggest problems with T-tops is there was a drainage hole in the body around where you actually set the T-top down into, and if that clogged up, you were screwed, man. Because then water would pool
Oh,
in that channel, and that's where the rust came from.
so you had to be vigilant.
You had to keep that
with the
drain hole
maintenance.
cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it helped to keep your seals on the top of the car like that, like oiled up or Vaseline.
Uh-huh.
I usually put Vaseline on them a
Yeah,
little bit, like
yeah.
a couple times a year, just to keep them like kind of moist. So,
So when you take the T-top off, it doesn't break off part of the like little imprint of the seal.
it would keep the seal a little more bouncy, so it didn't
Oh,
dry up as bad
uh-huh.
because it's on the top of the car, so it's different than having a door seal.
That's true.
The top of the car, those seals get a little crustier, easier, quicker, kind
yeah.
of just like
Dry
dry out.
rot
Yeah.
it out. Yeah.
So if you kept them kind of moist and stuff, they kind of were happier. And I like the T-tops. T-tops are cool.
So when my ex-wife and I first bought this house in '97, we had a 1996 Trans Am.
Did you really?
We did.
Okay.
LT1 still had the T-tops. Still had T-tops.
Still
Yeah,
had
That that had the LT1 vet motor in it. That's why I got rid of it, because I left work at Corning one night. It was raining, and there was a car with a turn signal on that I thought was going to turn. He decided not to turn and went straight. I had already pulled out the intersection, and in order to get around him, I had to floor the gas. And when I did, I spun 360 and ended up sliding into the entranceway of that gas station right across the street. And I went, I got to get rid of this car. I'm going to die in this fucking thing, you know. So yeah, we had it for a few years, you know. Cool car, but God, talk about impractical, man. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Grocery shopping was a chore, you know, because there was no space. You had space for 2 T-tops in the back. That was it. That was it.
Yeah.
And if you had more than 4 bags of groceries, forget it.
Tiny little back seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got rid of it, and yeah. Then we had what did I have after that? A Yukon. Yeah. I think when did you move in here?
I moved in 15. I rented it from my buddy Nick at the time.
Yeah, I remember Nick.
For a few years, and then he wanted to sell it in 17 or 18, and I was like, dude, how much do you want for it? You know, because I don't feel like moving all my tools out of the shop. They're heavy. And stuff.
Nick had, I kind of blew his mind because I'd walked over one night, and he was a big biker.
Yeah, he is.
And,
he's a great street bike rider.
I walked over and I was like, dude, Eddie Lawson Kawasaki. He goes, huh? How the hell did you know that, man? I'm like, trust me, bro, I got this. But yeah, cool dude, man. Yeah, you still talk to him at all?
Yeah, he's my one of my really good friends.
Okay.
They're cousins, and so that's how I met Nick, was through my buddy that went to UNCW. And
Okay.
we'd come to Wilmington all the time to party after school or something. And Nick, that's how I met Nick, was down here. And I lived in Monkey Junction for a little while, and when I moved out, I was like, I needed somewhere kind of quick. And I knew Nick had a house somewhere. I just never been there at the time. And he said, yeah, I still got it. I'm renting it out to folks. I need to get out of there, though. And it worked out. And just eventually bought it from him because he realized he wasn't going to come back this way.
Okay.
So I ended up buying it from him. And yeah, it was like the only house I could see myself affording, not having saved up for a house.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
And but barely could do that. I actually had a vet at the time, a 2000 model, and I had to sell it.
Okay, I was about to say I don't
get the
remember
down
you
payment.
ever having a
No,
vet. Okay.
I had it at my parents' house, so I had to sell it just to get the down payment.
Okay,
To
alright.
start with the house, but it worked out.
Alright.
I figured I could always get another vet, but I hadn't gotten one yet. It'll be some years.
I don't, man.
before.
I can't do a sports car.
They're
can't.
so fun to drive, but the whole time you're like, man, I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
Well, that's definitely one piece of it. The fact, at my age, man, I'm just getting in and out of a damn sports car.
Yeah.
Just, forget this shit, man.
There's a technique to it. You got to sit down straight into
I
it
know,
and
believe
have
me.
everything out of your pocket before
Swing
you
your
get
legs
ready.
in.
Yeah.
Sounds like getting into a
Yeah.
cop car.
Yeah, you're not getting into your
It
pocket.
sounds just like getting into a cop. Sit straight back and now swing your legs.
And
in.
how would you know that?
Everything, nothing in your pocket is going to stick me or poke me, right? No.
You're just in the front seat in this scenario, but yeah.
Oh,
very
shit.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fuck. That brings back nightmares. Okay. Yeah, I can't do. As much as I admire them, I mean, which I'll never own. Everybody's got that one. What's your dream car, man? What's the one car that, as a kid, all the way through adulthood, you're like, man, dude, if one day I ever become a millionaire, I'm gonna buy that car. What is it?
From my childhood, I couldn't tell you. I don't know that I didn't really think about cars that much when I was a little boy. But the Toyota Land Cruiser.
The old FJs or
Oh no, I would want one of each. I want a brand new one, and then I want a classic one, like an
with the
old.
removable hardtop and doors?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I want a Land Cruiser. Beyond that, I don't know. I like Mercedes.
What kind of Mercedes?
I don't know my names of them.
AMGs?
Be one of them. It would be an exotic one.
Like the SUVs or a sports car?
car.
Okay.
Would you
Yeah,
would you like the doors to open like this?
maybe.
Probably
I
the
mean-
SLS.
Yeah. Well,
What is that? That
Oh, that'd be
golden
like a
car?
McLaren.
yeah. Well, the
McLaren.
McLaren Mercedes. Whew, well, those are
Yeah.
hot. Those are hot.
I fell in love with the Mercedes back in the 90s when I was washing Mercedes' Pontiacs at Bob King for a summer job.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's a, and I keep seeing a few of them around town, but there's a Mercedes. It's a long, I think it's an S class, but it's an AMG. Very, very aerodynamic, very sloped
Yeah.
back, very good looking car, beautiful car. I see a few of them around town. They're not, they're on the pricier side, I know, but beautiful rides.
Cool. Anything with the AMG in it sounds really
Oh God, yeah.
American sounding. So I
Yeah.
think they're cool, but they're Mercedes and they look good. They still have the Roadster, I guess, blood in them or something, because some of
Yeah,
those Mercedes have the long front hood.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And they look really cool.
You know, some of those Mercedes from the 70s.
Oh God, man, the convertible, man. What was
Well,
what was the television show?
was
Heart,
one-
Heart to Heart.
There's one that's like a fucking tank, and it's a diesel. It can barely get out of its own way. But people drive these fucking things like 700,000 miles, 800,000 miles.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people use them for cabs in like
Well,
third
yeah.
world countries and stuff because they just go forever.
So I remember seeing this for the very first time when I was racing in Lemons. We were down at Kershaw. A guy had an E190.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Lotus derived motor, 4-cylinder turbo, big car, sedan. Okay. One of the coolest cars I ever saw. As a matter of fact, they made a super performance version of it called the Hammer. Look up the AMG Hammer. This car is first off, it's the epitome of the 80s. It is gangster, like we're talking Al Pacino gangster, kind of car, man. It is so bad. I'll put a picture up, while we're
Mercedes?
talking. Yes. Look up the AMG Hammer. Oh my God. Incredible car. But yeah, if you were to find one today, you're going to pay probably close to $1 million for it easily. It was so rare.
Okay.
So rare. All right. The same question here, Trey. What was your dream car? What would you, if you won the lottery tomorrow, what would you buy?
I'm pretty modest. I mean, it wouldn't be that expensive, but I mean, it's really expensive for me now, but it wouldn't be crazy expensive for lottery money, but I'd probably get I always like the ACR Vipers.
Good choice.
And
Good
I
choice.
think the first Viper I saw that I really thought was super cool was just the, I guess it's called the GTS Viper. Those blue ones, with the white racing stripes on the
Yes.
top. They're
Yeah.
so cool. I go to the
Side exhaust.
I go to the 24-hour Rolex race. I've
Oh,
been
wow.
maybe 10 times so far, and I actually went just this couple weekends ago, or a weekend ago, I guess.
At the Sebring.
No, it's actually
The Daytona.
Daytona, yeah.
Yes.
So I've been there like maybe 9 or 10 times, and went there with a buddy of mine that his stepdad introduced me to it, and he always went. So I've been 10 times from like the age of 12 to now, and the Viper was there early on, so it's kind of like a nostalgic thing, kind of like the Green Day Dookie album,
Yeah.
for me.
Right.
But I would probably get like some type of Viper just because they're very American and big on theater.
They're awesome, man.
And yeah,
Big old
they're cool.
V10.
Yeah, and they sound a lot different than you think they were going to sound. But
They
still,
do. They really
have like
do.
a higher
You would think,
pitch.
yeah, you would think they would have a deep growl, but they don't.
It's because of the V10. All V10s have that type of, V8s have a characteristic sound.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
V10s have a characteristic sound. Whether they're in a truck engine or whether it's meant to be a truck or if it's in a Viper, which originally was a truck engine that they had Lamborghini, I think, do the heads on and make the block aluminum. But yeah, all the Vipers are really cool. They look cool sitting still. So
this is true.
my choice.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Viper's a nice car. I got to go, and again, I'm gonna be a prick here. I'm gonna be on the high end of this. My dream car ever since I saw it was the Pagani Huayra. I just that to me is just a rolling work of art.
The one that I first saw was called the Zonda.
The Zonda, yeah, the Zonda F.
Oh yeah.
Oh, jeez, yeah, those are beautiful.
I saw some documentaries on it with Pagani, and they're
That
really
guy, that
sick.
dude is such a prick, man.
He's very
I
artsy.
swear to God, I hate that dude because he.
Very artsy.
Well, yeah, the problem is he can speak English, but every time he does a fucking interview, he's always he refuses to speak English and he only talks in Italian with a translator.
Yeah. Well, it sounds so
Why?
much
And I'm
cooler.
like, what a dick, man.
Oh god.
It seems like if he smokes a cigarette, he uses one of those sticks.
Yeah. And holds it right here on the tips,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. He probably.
But he's
does.
a brilliant dude, man. I can't take that away from him, man. He's he was a lot like Lamborghini. Lamborghini got shunned and said, you know what? Fuck you. You know, who was it? Ferrari?
Yeah.
He was like, fuck you, Ferrari. And Enzo Ferrari told Lamborghini why don't you stick to building tractors? Because that's, of course, where Lamborghini got their start, and that pissed him off so bad that he created Lamborghini Sports, and created some of those beautiful cars in the world,
Yeah, there was a
There you
couple
go.
Lamborghinis racing in Daytona recently.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen them racing there a few of the years that I've been.
Oh.
They were in the GTD class, I guess.
Yes.
Which is my favorite class. The ones that look like cars that you can not buy exactly, but
Yeah,
they look
yeah.
like they're race cars.
The
but
Corvettes,
you recognize the car.
Cadillacs.
Yeah. That's my
yeah,
favorite
yeah.
class. The prototype class was really cool, but
So we were talking about this the other day, and do you remember the Nissan Delta Wing?
oh yeah,
Oh my God, dude! That was so brutal. That was a
Yeah.
cool
it
car.
was cool. I like it's so different.
Yes,
and,
yes.
It was almost like a what do they call airplanes when they make some sick looking airplane that's not they know they're not going to build this thing, but they're like we got to test it out because it's a learning platform. or a study
Not a
platform.
prototype. It's a
They always,
development or
yeah. They always
yeah.
call them the X plane. X,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
like X10, 15.
Experimental aircraft.
Yeah, well, this car looked like an experimental car, and it kind of was. And they
it's
raced
it was unlike anything you've ever seen, man. So
Really?
it was
a bat car.
Like
The
a
whole-
concept car.
not even that. Not even that. It was very long nosed, very skinny, long nose. I mean, dude, the front end of that car was no wider than this table.
Really?
You
Yes.
would think it was a 3-wheeler,
But
it
then
was
in the
actually 4
back,
tires.
the whole back end just flared out into this wing configuration, and it had a almost like a rudder. Coming. It was crazy, man. I mean, it was nuts. But the damn thing hauled ass, man. It literally moved. It moved.
Sounds like it's shaped like a fucking arrow.
Yeah.
So
It looked like Batman came there. and-
Yeah, they looked like a Batmobile. It did.
That's so cool.
It did, man. It was crazy.
I wasn't there when it was racing, but I was following.
But
it
they
on
raced
TV.
that for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I tried to watch. I tried to watch it here at the house. I didn't have my antenna plugged into my TV, so I was like, YouTube will stream it. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen, man. So I would pull it up on Daytona on YouTube, and it would run for about 15 minutes, and all of a sudden the screen would go black and say shut down by copyright infringement. I forget who was the God damn it, whoever the owner of the series is. Was it which one? I'm trying to remember. I did watch last year's. Was it Daytona or one of the Rolex series? It was the one where the BMW kept that one BMW that got wrecked during the night, and they fixed it in the garage, and it went back out on the track, but it kept pitting and jumping back out on the track to jump in front of the Corvette. And finally, the Corvette slammed into his ass, and the dude threw the finger out the window.
Yeah, that was last year's drama.
Oh,
That was
God. Oh my God, that was great.
Yeah, this year was pretty wild. I don't know. There's probably usually you learn about that. It's kind of hard when you're there because it's so big and you can't take in but so much as a person at a racetrack. So I need to look up some of the drama if anything happened this year. This year, the big drama that was obvious when you were there was about there was 6 hours of caution laps because the fog was so thick.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah,
It was like from maybe midnight to. Or no, it was it was about midnight to 6 in the morning. So by the time 7:30 in the morning came around, they lifted it and they were back to racing. But there was 6 hours. I think it was 6 hours of caution laps. Just I guess they had to make sure probably had to trade off pace cars because I know it would have run out of gas.
Well, yeah. I imagine.
But it was so I went to bed about 2 or 3 in the morning and like the fog was going to be here for a long time. So. I was like, hopefully don't call it. But when I woke up at 7:30, you could hear them racing again. So it's like, because I was parked right outside the track.
Okay.
And, yeah, hopefully I go back again next year. I renewed my thing, so ticket or whatever. So
very cool, man. Very cool.
just slept in the van with the bunk beds and there. My buddy was supposed to go, but he had to cancel. And I got a friend that lives in Tampa, and it's like a 2.5 hour drive from Tampa. So my other buddy used my other friend's ticket, and we had a blast. It was fun. The Rolex 24 Hours Daytona is a lot of fun.
Let me know next year, man. I might be into that.
You can get usually I get the whole weekend pass, which is like 4 days, and
Right.
it's crazy what they'll let you get close to. It's like you could just walk up and like touch a car. I mean, not that I do that.
That is
but-
cool.
but
That is
you
cool.
you can do that. When we were kids, we helped this one team push their car into the pits, and it was a Camaro, and in like probably 2000, and the bumper fell off right when we got it where it was supposed to go because it was a small team. So while they let kids help them push, and the bumper fell off.
Oh, God.
So we were like, oh gosh, So
Did we do that?
We should go. And I think we kind of had a hand in it, but I think it probably had some loose fasteners or it weren't fitting together. It was a reason why kids accidentally pushed the bumper off. But anyway, we worried the whole race that like we called this, and the whole race they had problems with the bumper staying.
Oh, no.
It was bad.
Oh, God.
So we were real nervous the whole race. Like, man, we did that. But it's so fun. You can walk all in the pits and on the
Nice,
track
nice.
right
Wow.
before the race starts. It's such a cool event. And I'm glad it's still so similar to where like it was in '99, the first year I went. It was pretty cool.
I think back, it was let me think, back in 2000, it was 2014, no, 2012, 2014. I can't remember, man. I was up in Concord working, and they always had the 4-wide nationals at the ZMAX Dragway. And if you've never been to one, I recommend it highly. It is the most insane shit you'll ever see in your life, man.
Drag racing?
4 lanes.
4-lane drag
Not 2
racing?
lanes, 4 lane.
Okay.
And this is all this isn't amateur. This is all the pro, NHRA, Top Fuel, funny cars,
Yeah.
And the Alanabi drag team, which they don't exist anymore, but they were staying at the same hotel that we were at. Okay, because we were right up there in Concord. We were within walking distance of that track. It's right down the road there, and they were staying there, and they were out partying in the courtyard. We were at the Marriott courtyard, and my buddies and I, Dave Ratzloff, and we're out there. We're drinking beer, and we hook up with these guys. We're talking to them, and they're like, "Hey, we're the Alanabi drag team, blah blah blah, And as the night went on, we're drunker and drunker, and the next thing I know, the dude gets up and he goes to his room and he comes back and he hands us pit passes, So we were allowed to go, into the pits and stuff. And that
Sweet,
that
dude.
whole scene is so fucking insane.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. But we went up to the Alanabi pit, and they had the Top Fuel car going. They were getting ready to send it back out on the track again, and they had to test it because one of the things I never knew, it cost them like $10,000 a pass. Every time they go down the track is $10,000 because they have to pull the engine out and rebuild the entire engine within minutes.
Oh.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
One shot.
Yeah, that's it. You get one run out of that engine, and that's it.
Yeah, they
The
drink
rings
like,
are burnt. Everything's gone.
They drink like 8 gallons of fuel. in
Yeah, I
one-
would've-
maybe it's more than 8
yeah.
gallons in one pass.
So while we were in the pits, they had this dragster up on stands. Okay. And they're like, hey, you guys might want to stand back a little bit. We're getting ready to fire this thing up. They cranked that fucking engine. First off, I went deaf. Next, I couldn't breathe. Then I couldn't see because the fumes from this shit, man, were just, I was like, holy, what the fuck, man? I felt like it was like, cyanide gas or something,
This thing's like the fucking space shuttle.
Holy
in here.
shit, man.
That's pretty impressive. You'd think that there's a bunch of YouTube videos on NHRA like stuff, and you'll see a lot of people really close to the car when it's like pop, 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 pop,
Oh
pop.
my God,
and
man.
and you could tell they're not quite like maybe it's their first pit pat in the NHRA stuff.
That would be
and,
me.
And all of a sudden you'll see the guy just reach over to like I don't know if it's the throttle body or what, but it'll man, and just that.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. It'll almost blow the awning off the top of the big rig that's underneath it. It'll just blow the awning up, and people usually are like what happened? Like,
Yeah.
it's so bad that people run away.
But whatever
from
that
it.
methane
It's,
fuel that they're burning, man, you can't
yeah,
breathe. You
yeah.
can't breathe. It burns. I mean, it's a chemical warfare. You can't breathe.
That's insane power.
Eyes burn. Now you're deaf, you're blind, and you can't breathe at all.
Yeah, they're crazy power. And
Yeah, it was
NHRA.
They said when the top fuel guys, and that's the needle cars. The announcer said you were with 4 wide. You were watching more horsepower than an entire field across the street at the NASCAR track. There was more horsepower in those 4 cars than there is an entire field of NASCAR.
That's wild.
8,000 horsepower per car, 32,000 horsepower.
8,000
Yeah,
horsepower.
I think it's an estimation, like a math equation, because
my
I don't
God.
think you can put that much horsepower on a dyno. But yeah, they're at 8,000+ horsepower with nitromethane.
And we went, there's a tunnel at ZMAX that you can go under about midfield. You can go under the entire track and come up on the other side. So we grabbed some beers and we went over there. And my buddy Rats off and I, man, dude, we're drunk as fuck watching this, which is the best time ever, drinking these big 24-ounce natural lights, And I remember I'll have to post this. I still have it on video. Those cars launched, and if you blinked, you missed it because they went by you so fucking fast. It was like done. 331 miles an hour at, dude, I want to say 3.3 seconds, 3.4
God
seconds.
knows.
It was insanity. Absolute insanity.
When if you stand, it's good to stand in the stands when you see some passes because the bleachers are like when you see the bleachers at an NHRA race, they're like really robust bleachers. Like,
they're
man,
nice.
These are like powerful bleachers. Why are they so strong looking? Like it looks like you could,
All right.
like castle steps almost.
Okay.
But they're aluminum, just like any other bleacher. But they're so strong looking, and I figured out why. The only race I've ever been to, but when they come by, it's
The concussion.
It's just so it's like an earthquake happens.
Your
when those
knee,
cars
your
come by.
knee. I
It's
was on the
crazy.
fence line. So we're talking from the nearest lane to me, less than 50 feet.
Okay.
Okay. And literally, when those cars came down and hit the spot I was standing in, my knees buckled underneath me.
If you look across the
Really?
fence to
Yes.
the other,
Yes.
if you look across the fence to the other bleachers, just look at the bleachers. You'll see people just fall down.
So just
Because
rattle you right off
Well,
the bleacher.
what you'll
Right.
see
'Cause
is
they don't
almost
Yeah.
you know how
Shockwave of power.
a jet fighter, you see every once in a while it goes into supersonic and you see that
Vapor.
cloud form around it.
Yeah.
This is exactly what it's like.
Oh my God.
It's,
You know,
it's really impressive.
It's just a sonic wave that just goes boom, comes out at you.
That's nuts, man.
I mean, your shirt, you feel it, you see it, you feel it,
Sometimes you can look in your drink if you're fairly close to them, like fairly close, like less than maybe 150 feet.
Yeah.
And you'll see stuff in your drink like black.
The tires.
Tires.
And it's like, what is that? And people are like, yes.
And now I'm part of the race experience for real.
You should go to at least one. It's so.
Oh,
I've
it's-
only been to one, but I have
I've
so
never
many
been to a
memories.
drag
from
race.
it.
I've been to
It's
some
so
NASCAR
nice.
races. That was a lot of fun.
They're cool too.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I've been to I've been to quite a few now.
Yeah.
I didn't like. So years ago, we're talking 2001, maybe 2000. I got this is back when we could accept. My company could accept gifts from our vendors, people, our customer, or our vendors we bought stuff from, and so this one year, I got tickets to sit in the Goodyear booth at Charlotte. Okay. And that was for the CarQuest 300, which was Saturday before the Coca-Cola 600 on that Sunday. So then I had another vendor call me up and say, hey, do you want tickets for the CarQuest 300? I'm like, I already got tickets for that. And like, well, how about the Coca-Cola 600? I was like, I don't have tickets for that. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you tickets for that. So we made a weekend out of it.
Nice.
And I will say, being in the glass, watching a NASCAR race is the most boring fucking thing in the world.
I've had it both ways. I have been in the booth at Darlington for a race. Got free tickets. One of my buddies in Myrtle Beach says, hey, man, you want to go? I'm like, yeah. And there was like food, alcohol.
Oh,
It was
now
all-
that I loved. That part I loved. The roast beef, the ham. Yeah, that was great.
But, you were isolated from it.
The sound, the
Now,
smells, you got none of it.
I've
None of it.
also been to
And it's
Rock.
400 miles, so it's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
here for a
yeah,
while.
yeah.
I've also been to
Or
Rockingham,
500. Whatever.
and this was back in the early, about 93, when they were still racing NASCAR there. And me and my buddies rented a U-Haul, and we stayed in the infield all weekend.
That sounds like a good time.
And when the race started, we got up on top of the U-Haul and watched the race.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
And that was real fun.
That's what I'm
dude.
talking about.
That was
Yeah.
that was good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola 600, I was outside in the stands, the smells, the sights, the sounds, that was where it was
Yeah.
at, Seats were horrible, man. The seats in Charlotte are terrible.
Really?
And I'm sorry, man. I'm not a NASCAR guy. It was boring.
The only thing I don't the thing I don't like about NASCAR is all the cars are so similar. They're so. I
It
mean, I'm
is.
sure there's
Yeah.
lots of in race.
It is.
verbs.
Yes. That's
Well, it's even
Different,
worse
but-
today, man. They've got two motors and like the same. They have a Toyota, a Chevrolet, and a Ford, but they're all the same shape.
no.
And there's nothing Toyota about or Chevrolet really about
Mm-mm.
NASCAR. Well, I mean, they're just all so similar, and you can't relate to them. That's why I like the Rolex 24-hour race because
Yeah.
the prototypes you can't really relate to too much, but they do have two classes that are cars that look like cars you can buy, and they are, and they're not. They mostly start life as that car.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
change. They are
Yeah, I
all
like
brand
that.
new, and they put roll cages and all the race stuff in.
Yeah,
them. You
yeah.
take out all
Suspension,
the
brakes.
take out all the luxury stuff.
Mhm.
But the NASCAR is really cool. But did you see when they took one of the NASCAR platforms to Le Mans?
No.
Like a few years
No.
ago. Look
No.
it up. Yeah, I think it happened maybe between 3 and 6 years ago. But they took a NASCAR platform and they raced it in the Le Mans series.
Okay. Alright.
Not the series, but the 24 Hours of Le Mans in France.
Okay.
It actually did really good.
Huh.
Wow,
And they only
really?
had one car, and I don't think they counted it at all because it broke enough rules that they couldn't like have it in the.
The
It was more
official-
like an exhibition,
Okay.
like to bring fans in.
That's
like
kind of
a
cool though.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great because there's a lot of NASCAR fans and there's a lot of fans of endurance racing.
Nice,
And
nice.
so to bring some NASCAR, I think fans into that world was kind of cool. And yeah, look up the there's like some documentaries about it and stuff. Really
Definitely.
pretty cool. And it was kind of cool too because nothing else really sounds like a NASCAR.
No,
they,
that's
They
true.
do
True.
sound.
And they are loud.
I mean, they sound really good.
Yes.
And,
When they
different.
all
Guys, we're going to take a quick break here. I'll be right back. All right. We are back. We're back. So we were talking about racing and drag racing and NASCAR, and then one of the things that which DP has not really gotten into, which I think at some point you probably will be, as much as we talk about it, F1 racing.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean,
Yeah.
I like it when I watch it. I
Um,
haven't developed a passion like you guys.
Yeah, and so Trey kind of nailed it, when we were taking a break there, and it's really, to me, it's the engineering, and unlike IndyCar and unlike NASCAR, um, even though I think the rules and regulations in F1 are a lot stricter,
Yeah.
there's so much variety, so many engine manufacturers,
Yeah.
and so many ways that they can skirt the rules or just get right up on the edge of them, and
Make them rewrite the
Yeah,
rule next
yeah.
season.
Or even in mid-season, I've seen that happen. And again, not that they're cheating, but I mean, dude, this is a competitive edge. This is what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You need to be the fastest one out there. With your driver, with your car. And prove to. That's why they do a championship for the winner who won the most races, and then they do a constructors championship who built the best car. And sometimes it's not the same. It's just kind of weird the way that works.
Yeah.
Sometimes the constructors championship, they win because they built the best car, but they didn't have the best driver.
There's
so
a
they
lot
don't
of data
win.
they can collect to support someone.
Yeah. So the math and the science and the
Yeah.
engineering behind F1 to me is, I think, my biggest attraction to really why I've been into it for so many years.
Well, one thing I really do like is watching those damn pit stops.
Dun, dun.
Holy
I mean,
shit,
2
that is-
seconds.
yeah,
You can't watch all of it happen at one time because it's so fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think McLaren still holds the fastest 1.8 seconds. Bam,
Yeah.
dude, they
All
changed
four tires changed.
tires
Some adjustment to the
and
front.
adjusted the front wing in 1.8 seconds, and that car
Yeah.
was back out. You know,
Yeah. You can't-
that's insane.
And that one guy that's got to stand right there in front when it rolls in.
Now
Like-
imagine how they could speed that up even faster if they went to the IndyCar pit stop where they have the auto jacks. The car pulls up and it pops itself in the air. Instead of manual jacking.
How much could they shave off?
You probably save off another half second. But
That's
again,
fast.
this is going to add additional weight to the car.
Yeah.
So is this something you want to do?
Yeah.
I do like some aspects of racing where they try to keep a certain tradition, even though that tradition sometimes is like obsolete. Like,
Yeah.
like endurance racing for a while, they had like, this is in the 60s and 70s, but for a long time they made you carry a spare tire in the car, even though
In
you
the
had,
car?
Yeah, but you wouldn't change. You wouldn't change.
You wouldn't
There,
use it?
yeah, I
Change
mean,
the car.
seriously, yeah.
But it was tradition from like
That's
Le
funny.
Mans and stuff. back in the day.
The car, that kind of rally, and I could see the spare tire.
So
but
some
yeah.
of the jacks and stuff, and the like in NASCAR where they still have the lug pattern.
They
I
got
think
the
is-
lug
I think it's
pattern.
a certain just tradition
I
established.
thought
that
They're
carrying out the
and
gas.
they may have changed.
I think
the lug
NASCAR's
pattern.
actually moved to the 1 bolt.
Do they have the
I think,
one
I
bolt?
think they
one?
did.
They're still carrying the gas tank out there on their fucking shoulder, aren't they? And putting,
Yeah, and
or
you
they
know,
still do that?
certain racing has gone like Formula One at one point wouldn't let you get fuel, and then they changed.
No, you cannot fuel in
You can't
Formula
fuel
One.
now.
Cannot refuel.
At one time you could, and they had all kinds of innovations of how to fuel that car as fast. So they'd have these like fuel towers. Like this is
Oh, yeah.
usually black and white footage, but like
Yeah,
they have these
that whole.
towers.
So yeah,
How
that
quick can we pump this gas into this car?
that whole process was engineered as well, and all teams were
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Teams had different ways of doing it. But
That's so cool.
if you look
history.
at the history of the amount of fires that started in the pits because of this shit, it's no wonder they stopped it. I'm still amazed that it still happens in NASCAR and F1 or in IndyCar because they suffer the same problems.
What is how long do Formula One races last? Aren't there like a certain set laps for each? Isn't there?
Yeah, there's a
Like
and
30
and again,
or
man, it can be anywhere from like 58 to 78.
Okay.
So
So they're not needing. They know how long they'll last.
Yeah.
Fuel.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not as much of a game like tires.
well,
are.
the
Yeah.
problem with F1, and again because of rules and regulations, man, the problem with F1 is that your car has to weigh a certain amount, when you finish that race. So this is why you see at the end of the race when the cars pull up to the 1, 2, 3 first, second, third places, at the end of the track, the tires look like complete shit, man. Well, what they've done is to offset any weight that they may potentially come in under, because if you come in underweight, you're disqualified, even if you won the race. And I've seen that happen. That has been happening a lot. What ends up happening is a lot of times the car has used too much fuel, has over scored its skid plate. There's too much metal missing from its skid plate. Where it bottoms out and sparks out the back. And what they'll do at the race has been determined, the winner's been determined. The cars will circle the track, and what they do is they drive off the line into the what do we call this in racing? Marbles. They drive into the marbles because the tires are hot. They pick up all this extra rubber, so the car actually weighs more when it comes in for its final stop.
How sensitive is the scale?
It's incredible. It's down to the ounce, bro.
Really?
Apparently real close. Like, yeah, you wouldn't want to take it to your doctor appointment. He'd know exactly how much you weigh.
George Russell, I think, was the last one, and I can't remember which race it was, but yeah, he won the race and then got disqualified within 30 minutes because his car was underweight.
Man.
There's a lot of cool. I'm subscribed to some stuff on YouTube that talk. It's like racing history, where they'll interview certain racers in the past, and they talk about all their like little tricks, like driving into the gravel or whatever to pick up as much stuff, or like they had like lead shot in their frame, and like that's just a NASCAR thing.
Little fishing
So
weight.
what was that guy's name, man? And I've watched documentaries on YouTube.
So many tricks that people have done over the years.
Had the
I nerd out.
7/8 scale Chevelle NASCAR Smokey Unick.
Yeah.
Smokey Unick. You watch a documentary on this guy, man. He was
The master at
dude was
deception
insane,
in
man.
racing, yeah.
Dude was insane, man. Because the shit that he would do, he would put fuel bladders in the roll bar.
Oh my God.
Yes.
To have extra fuel.
Basketballs in the fuel tank, to blow them up at the end of the race to give it a higher fuel level to prove, we still had enough fuel left over.
Yeah, some of those stories are incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that media exists, because it's so interesting to hear, and it's not cheating, but you're trying to. Well, sometimes it is cheating. People usually don't get caught.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's just like you didn't say anything in the rule book.
I think basketball in the fuel tank's probably cheating.
Well, they didn't say you
Maybe.
couldn't put a basketball.
Well,
in the
that's
field.
true. Well,
Again, man, it's
you got me on that.
you're talking about
technically.
it's a
And
gray
that's what they would say,
area.
probably.
It's a gray
I'm
area.
surprised that the gas didn't eat through the basketball.
Well, so what
It
it would
probably eventually would.
what it would do is, in a lot of times, like at the end of the race, okay, you blow the basketball up so it would have a higher fuel level when they drop the dipstick in it, or you deflated the basketball so you could hold more fuel in the tank.
Okay.
So yeah, it was, dude, watch some of the documentaries. Smokey Unick, I believe, was the guy's name.
You're right. Yeah.
And dude, the 7/8 scale Chevelle is one of the most insane. It's almost a urban legend at this point. But it's supposedly he built this car that was just a slightly bit smaller, than all the rest of the cars, that it would cut through the air a little bit better, had a little bit more slope to it, So yeah, some of these stories are just insane. But again, man, competitive edge. Giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff won't come out until like 10 years later or 5 years later, that you're like, man, I thought that car looked different, or I thought that car seemed
F1. You remember the? Help me out here, man. It was the 6-wheel car, Elf.
Yeah.
6 wheels. 2 sets of front tires, 1 set of rear tires. And then there was another one that had 2 sets of rear tires and 1 set of front tires.
There's the Lotus car that had the the vacuum, or the fan car, they called it. It was a banned immediately.
Had something to do with the rear wing. What was it?
It was ground effect. So
yes.
So it basically just, instead of having aerodynamic ground effect underneath the car, they had a fan that did the ground effect
And
for
pulled
it,
the car down.
and pulled the car down. It could be dangerous depending on like if you lost in a corner, if you lost that suction, I guess. But there's all kinds of Formula One stories. There was one car that had like 4 2-stroke engines per tire.
Yes.
There was one Formula
And again,
1.
the rules didn't say you couldn't do that.
So you can do it. Like if you wanted, I don't know, like if you wanted to put a tiger in the trunk, like they didn't say you couldn't put a tiger in the trunk, but it's not going to help you racing. But if it did, people would do it probably.
So what makes it so interesting this year? So they've had to change regulations again this year. So now what they call DRS, where the rear wing opened, to allow for passing if you were within 1 second of the car in front of you, and a big advantage on the straightaways, because that rear wing would open, reducing drag, allowing you to get enough pull
to make a
move
pass.
Yeah. Now that's gone. So now there's two different things. Your front wing now can fold flat. Your rear wing can fold flat. This year, this is brand new, okay? And the engine is now a 50-50 hybrid, 50% gas, 50% electric, okay? So you have to build up that energy to use that electric part of your engine. There's also a push-to-pass like they use in IndyCar now. So a whole set of regulations, this year coming out. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to work, man.
And you're ready for Cadillac because now you're a Cadillac.
I am dying to see Cadillac.
You're going to get a Cadillac hat?
Dude, I'm going to get a shirt.
Okay.
I'm going to get a hat.
You're going to get the gear. You're going to gear up for this.
Dude, you will see us on the goat pin. I will have a Cadillac F1 hat. Right. Definitely going to happen. Probably Valtteri Bottas. I always liked him. He's funny dude. And Sergio Perez is the second driver for Cadillac this year. So
Cadillac powered Daytona prototypes are there this year.
Dude, they're strong, man.
Yeah,
They've always
that's
been
not
strong.
Formula One, but Cadillac racing's always been pretty interesting.
And I've always been a big fan of the CTSV. Always been a fan.
My buddy, Nick's cousin, buddy that I know Nick from, he had a CTSV, and then he had a CT. The V6 version. I can't remember what that one's called. It was like a twin turbo V6.
Is that the CT4?
Good question. I don't know.
CT5 maybe.
I wrote it and he scared me. But the CTSV was the Corvette.
I want the
V8
Blackwing version.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
That was such a cool car. It's a Cadillac, but it starts up like
yeah, almost camming.
Yeah, really.
I'm like, nice. What the world is that? And the pipes are out the middle, and it looks like you could pick up kids at the soccer game or go grocery shopping, or you could take it to VIR.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Or take it to Jacksonville Dragway.
Or that. Yeah. That's right.
So, speaking of drags, so Elon Musk, let's change subjects here for a minute. Elon Musk just announced they're stopping production on the Model S and one of the other ones. I don't think it's a Y.
Yeah, they're moving the resources to autonomous cars. Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, that's kind of huge, man, because the Model S was a big seller for them, man.
Yeah.
Big seller.
Yeah, it's I've only ridden one Tesla ever.
I've never been in a Tesla.
I've driven one.
I've been in one Tesla.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
We drove it, and it's a pretty impressive car. I mean, it's cool. I don't have anything against electric stuff. I think it's cool. But I think they're a little bit soulless, but compared to a type of car. But that's pretty. I would think
the inside is
like a hotel.
Yeah.
I can see that right now. I would die. I love the technology.
I love technology. It's got like a wood grain kind of board type thing that goes across, just wood, and then there's a nice big screen right there in the middle.
It's cool.
It's just
a TV.
It's like Scandinavian furniture or something. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like cold,
spacious.
It's cold. It's cold in there. Yeah, like
cold, emotionally cold. Not very warm feeling.
Yeah, I get it.
But if I had the money, I probably would.
Can't do it.
Get a Tesla along with the Land Rover.
The
Land Cruiser.
I think they're cool, but to me, again, you nailed it. Soulless. I could. That's number one. Not that I'm a huge car enthusiast, but
very, like minimalistic almost.
Yeah, they're very minimalistic. They're pretty cool. I mean, I love them, and I have some critiques for them. But to be fair, I have critique. Every human will have a critique for every car.
Yeah.
Like
sure,
that. Like I drove a SVT Cobra one time, and it was so cool, but everything rattled.
Well, it rides
the
like a
mirrors
it rides like a
rattled,
skateboard. Yeah, yeah.
and it's just like a tractor. But
Yeah.
man, that car is it's just fun. Like every Mustang sounds amazing, and so it's just like a big exhilarating feeling you get from the supercharger. You know?
That
And it's
is
just crazy, and
that's an unforgettable sound.
yeah. But even though
Yeah.
the Tesla is faster by a considerable
Well,
margin,
you got all this torque, man.
I've heard
It's
they're very
instant
fast.
torque.
it better be
Yeah.
in a way. It better be faster because there's like tens of thousands of things going on in an internal combustion engine car, and then maybe just a couple hundred things going on in a electric car.
Yeah.
But but I mean the Tesla is pretty cool. That thing will from stop to go or stop to whatever. It's fast and and
Sure.
really cool. But you can watch the battery power.
When
know,
you do that,
yeah, you can look at
And
it.
see, to
watch
me,
it.
that's
that would
kind
be
of
a bummer.
It's
Yeah.
kind of a mind fuck to me because
Yeah.
that would be me, kind of, that OCD kicking in, going, So I watch one of the channels I subscribe to is a guy named Rich's Rides. He is exclusive electric vehicles. And he talked about this one instance where he left. I think he's up around New Jersey. He had gone down to South Carolina or maybe even Florida to pick up this Rivian. Now, he planned his trip to, say, okay, well, I'm going to get here to this point. I'm going to have to stop and charge. I'm going to get here to this point. I'm going to have to stop and charge. The problem, America does not have the infrastructure to support electric vehicles at all.
No,
At all.
No, not with their current ranges.
In the metropolitan range, metropolitan. Am I saying that right?
Like you mean like
Cities. You have that, but
Yeah.
when you get rural, no.
Yeah, you gotta plan that trip.
Yeah.
you need
You gotta
The
plan
problem
that
was
trip.
he planned his trip, and what he found was that the chargers that were supposed to be there either weren't working, or they were at a hotel where you had to have the room booked in order to use the charger. It was
that sucks.
and so it literally turned into a nightmare, adventure for him, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm watching this, and then there's another one where I watched this guy talk about him and his wife buying these two Teslas, and he had a Tesla roof, a Tesla power bank in his house, and he said that it's still, the charging of those cars still was way more than his solar system could handle. And he was still paying an electric bill every month. And I'm like, that's freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah, I saw a guy with a charging station in his house.
Well, I mean, you
It
technically, if
takes
you own an
room up
electric
too, man. It's not
no,
like
yeah.
a small thing.
No,
I mean, that
no,
thing's
no.
like as big as this table standing on its end. The one I saw.
Yeah, the superchargers.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what.
So
what
again,
else
I'm
it
not,
could do, but
and I don't want to say it's a trendy or even a fad thing, but as I watch more and more of the major vehicle manufacturers move away from electric vehicles, it's starting to tell me it's almost fad at this point. It's even Tesla. Come on, dude. You're telling me you're going to ditch two of your biggest models and go in this other direction? So I'm kind of, I don't know, man.
I think somebody is gonna perfect it to a higher level one day because I think too much.
Well, the
money-
battery technology's got to change.
Yeah,
number
I
one.
mean, I think that. Well, I don't think it's the technology is going away, but I don't think it's anywhere near where it needs to be for people who want to afford one and drive it around to be able to do that. I think it's going to be a while for that.
Yeah, that
I don't know
can see.
how long. I mean, maybe a decade, maybe 2 decades. Who knows?
yeah, I think depending on what your lifestyle is right now,
Yeah.
is going to determine whether or not you could suffice. Do I get an electric car or not? It depends
Yeah.
on like me going to date like a couple, like if I go to Greensboro or Daytona or maybe
Yeah,
Raleigh or Charlotte.
again,
I think it'd be okay if you planned it out like you're talking about.
But again,
And,
even that's what I was just pointing out, though. Even those plans don't.
always work.
Yeah,
Sometimes it
yeah,
turns
yeah.
into a National Lampoon's
I mean,
Vacation.
surely
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
make
Or
it.
you have to-
exactly.
Surely you can make it from here to Raleigh.
Negative.
No,
Maybe. But
Really?
there, I
Dude,
went,
Raleigh's still 120 miles, man. I mean, it's
What's the range on a Tesla?
well, usually they advertise. Well, it's just like any other vehicle. Like they advertise what their range is going down a hill with the wind behind
And then it
them.
never makes it.
You know,
Oh,
and so it's
yeah.
435, miles on a tank of gas.
Oh,
And it's like,
God.
okay, great, but you were going down a hill with the wind behind you, and nobody was in the car, and you had your foot on the clutch the whole time. And they always advertise if they have a straight shift model, which is rare nowadays, I guess, but. They always advertise the gas
which
mileage.
sucks.
They always advertise the mileage on the straight shift because it gets obviously.
And
the
that's
best
not
mileage.
that's not the same anymore.
And it's not
though,
the same as
you know.
yeah, but not the crap talk. Electric cars the whole time. But I think you have to plan out your stuff and yeah, like there was a guy that worked at the dealership I got my van from, and he drove a Tesla, and he said he drove from Raleigh to Burgaw every day.
Okay.
And he got to where he just could make it.
What?
Just could
Yeah,
make it.
so-
Now, I don't know the
On a full
specifics.
charge?
He would charge it when
Well,
he got home.
so again, man,
God.
you're talking about a
That's not enough miles.
but
so
I mean,
like any other car, you're talking about freeway driving at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and the
again,
heater on and the air
and the air conditioner on,
conditioner
so
Okay.
like any other car, it's going to get less gas mileage at 70 miles an hour, just like a battery would. It's going to get less. It's going to use more power at that
Yes.
speed.
And that car's pretty aerodynamic.
yeah,
At least the Model S. And it doesn't have the radiator to like create that drag, so it's pretty slick.
Yeah, that's true.
And it still isn't like it's energy. It's not free.
Yeah.
Everything costs money, to charge. They said, I think I might be wrong, but they said that usually when you charge your electric car from 0 to 80%, which they don't even recommend charging to 100 because it's bad for the battery to charge it all the way up, but 80-ish%, it's like running your oven at like 400 degrees for like 2 to 4 hours, depending on the car. So your oven, how often do you run your oven for 400 degrees? For
Not a
3 or
whole
4
lot.
hours.
Not a
What,
whole
Thanksgiving?
lot.
It's the only time I can think
I don't cook turkey.
of. Right.
I've cooked
I-
one turkey, which turned out to be
So
great.
imagine
Anyway.
doing it every day to go to work. Like it's gonna cost
my
some money.
God.
But some people skirt over that. I've heard some people tell me like, yeah, it only cost me $30 a month to run this car. I was like, there's no way. If you like work at the florist
that-
2
yeah.
blocks away, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have to go to a work that's like an hour drive, every
Well, then
day-
you should immediately ask them, do you have solar panels on your house? And if they say no, they're fucking lying.
yeah, and also, what are those solar panels for? Do they only charge certain things that are dedicated to like? If I did have a Tesla, I would want like one of those solar things I could fold
You'd have
out,
to. Yeah,
just
definitely.
in case,
Yeah.
or either that or a generator and some gas in the trunk.
Well, you would and again, so this guy I watched on
So
YouTube,
God.
he had the power bank. He had the Tesla power banks in his house. So not only is he generating power during the day, but he's storing that power. And then he's charging 2 Teslas at night. And again, it was negligible. It was it wasn't helping at all. And that's not an uncommon. I think even with my solar panels, I would do a lot better if I did have battery storage, because the power I use at night, I'm not, mine's in real time, so the only time I save energy is during the day, so it's weird because I had to change the way I do things, around the house. Normally you would do laundry after 6 p.m., after 8 p.m., when the energy usage is low. I do mine in midday, man, because I have, my solar energy.
The solar power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a weird way of thinking, but, having solar panels is really, it has helped me out a lot. I'm a firm believer in that. Because I do run an AC heating unit here in the studio, and I run one in the house, my power bill doesn't exceed $80 a month, so, yeah,
That's
I'm a
pretty
firm,
good.
yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. Of course, I've got a, $100+ $120 a month, bill that I have to pay to the, solar panel company for the next 15 years, but, it's kind of a mortgage kind of thing, but hey,
Yeah.
it works, so. But
Yeah, so I like solar. I like electric cars. They're pretty cool. They do open up a realm of customization. Like with the Swedish furniture design. A
Yeah.
lot of them have. You
Yeah.
can customize them pretty heavy because there's nothing in there.
There's the
except-
blank canvas.
It is pretty blankish.
It's a
but-
blank canvas.
So that's kind of cool. And but I get annoyed sometimes when some of the not all, but some folks driving them are like, oh yeah, it's completely what's it called? It's carbon neutral. It's like
That's see, and this is
Carbon
where
neutral.
I got to call bullshit on this, and this is
you gotta
actually
build the thing.
well, it's actually based off of a fictitious television show. For those of you guys out there that may or may not have watched Landman, I recommend it highly. It's a fantastic show, but there's a scene in there where the corporate lawyer for this oil firm goes and visits Billy Bob Thornton, and as they're driving through, South, Texas, there's all these wind farms, and they stop at one of them for whatever reason, and as they get out of the car, the lawyer says, "Well, I don't understand this whole renewable energy thing. When you are a fossil fuel company, they're a multi-billion-dollar, oil company." And he goes on this rant explaining that this one tower, this one windmill, costs X amount of dollars, uses X amount of petroleum products to build it. And he says in the 20-year lifespan that it stands here producing energy, it won't even offset its own carbon footprint. And I'm like, holy shit. So I go, me being the inquisitive guy, man, I go and look this shit up. And he's dude, that wasn't fiction. That was a true statement.
He uses a
I'm
swimming
like, son
pool
of a bitch, man.
Yeah, he uses a swimming pool's size of grease every year just to keep
Yes,
the gears
yes.
lubricated, which is a petroleum product.
Oh, wow.
It's
Not that I know
amazing.
a lot about it. It's just
Well, dude,
That's a
again,
lot of
you got to
grease.
watch this one scene, and you're like,
it's pretty cool. He calls
it's
it
actually a true thing,
He calls it. He said this. He calls it it's alternative energy.
Yes,
which is
yes.
pretty accurate.
Yeah.
It is good energy. It's alternative energy, but I wouldn't say. I don't think anybody.
It's
really
not
should say
green energy. It's
Not-
definitely not green.
Not
Not
all
in
the way.
people
no.
think of green. you
No.
know. But I think it's cool energy, but it's not totally what people would define as green.
Exactly. And that's, again, so, and I'm guilty of this. So I have solar panels on my house, but what did it take in carbon fossil fuels to produce the solar panels that are bolted to my roof?
Yeah.
Did they all, and again, it's not that I'm green, and I'm going to be the first one to tell you guys, I'm not green. I'm not. This is a very selfish reason that I put these damn things on my house, was to save power, save money out of my wallet to the power company. It was a me thing. It wasn't a green thing. I'm not trying to save the planet. I'm just,
Yeah, well, if everybody, if it becomes profitable for like the average person to do certain things, they'll do it, no matter what it is. If it's profitable,
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you can make it more environmentally friendly and profitable, people will do
It's
it.
a win for lots of different kinds
Sure.
of people.
Yeah,
sure.
people will do it,
Yeah.
and they don't care if they would call it green or purple or orange or whatever.
No.
But Tesla does have some cool shapes of their cars. I like their shapes.
dude, I love, what is the SUV with the wing doors? The X model.
I don't even know what that one's called.
What the
I don't
hell's
know what
that
that is either.
Isn't that the one the astronauts rode into the
No, wait, I think
to
it
the
was-
launch or whatever, where they got out of the? Remember they were wearing the the SpaceX new gear that seemed like very minimalistic for like astronauts to wear. Remember? It was
Yeah.
it looked real mobile and stuff,
Yeah.
like stormtrooperish.
I saw a lot of these things.
And they
So
got out
I'm-
of that
I'm-
car.
And I get
Right.
confused on all the models that Tesla makes, but there's an SUV that the back doors are they're going.
That was the car that they got out of.
Okay.
Because the astronauts needed it to be like out of their way.
So
you
the
know?
S is the sedan. The Model 3 is I know the Roadster is a compact convertible. X maybe? Y? I don't know.
I know the Y
don't
is
know.
like a tall car, kind of like a SUV looking, almost like it
That
doesn't
might
know
be
what
the
it wants
Model
to
Y
be.
then.
Okay.
It might be the Model Y. But yeah, dude, I love that shit, man. The fucking gold
Yeah,
doors, man. That's
it's nice.
That's, again, Musk is a genius, man. He is.
He is a genius.
He is a genius.
He's
you know,
taking Starlink public. Where you'd be able to buy shares in Starlink.
I will never do that. I will never do that personally. I'm not saying, and again, the technology there is it's so susceptible to solar flares that it's not even funny. And I'm talking about not only interruption, but actual downtime destroying of these satellites. You know, if we were to have a major solar flare, it would kill these satellites, not just disrupt them. You know, so yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
My opinion. My opinion.
Do you think the the autonomous cars will be enough of a payout that it's worth taking away some resources from his Tesla cars, or at least make a new Tesla of those models? Maybe he has other plans for new models.
My opinion of that is the laws have to change because right now the way the laws are written, if you, me, and or DP were to go downtown and have a whole bunch of drinks and jump into an autonomous car, guess what?
Somebody's got to be sober.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be in the driver's
That's
seat.
bullshit. That's bullshit to me.
Yeah, you have an autonomous car, but somebody has to be sober in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be driving this golf cart.
So
Yeah, that's kind of a point that ultimately I think they will get past that one day, but it's just so weird.
well, to me,
One
this
part
is
of
this is where the alcohol industry, guys, listen to me here. This is where you guys could excel by lobbying, you know, to change these laws. I'm in a fucking autonomous car. Why do I have to be sober?
This is kind of like the Amish guy who comes home drunk and he's passed out in the buggy, but the horse knows the way home. So
Thank
the
you.
horse will take
Thank
him
you.
right to his house and right to the barn,
Yeah.
and everything's cool.
So my great granddad was a mailman a long time ago, and he rode a mule in Kentucky,
Okay.
and the mule knew all the stops. And I've only heard the story. I have not. I mean, I knew him until I was probably 7.
This is already epic, by the way.
And so he'd have to get the mule ready every morning. But the mule's a real seasoned, I think, at this point in his life. And one night he was out. He drank a little much and got hung over pretty hard, and ended up. He at the end of his run, he knew he had no more mail because he's a person. He didn't have any more mail, but the mule didn't know that, and so there's still more stops to make. But he said, "Come on, let's go." And so in his mind, he had like we're leaving to go home, and but the mule stopped at the next mailbox, and he wasn't expecting it, and the mule stopped hard, and he fell over the mule. All over and he's hungover from the night before, and he gets mad, and so he beats the mule as you would do, And then by the time he got home, he was like, "Man, I feel so bad. I beat this mule," and the mule was just stopping because he's an autonomous mule, and
Yeah,
he knows how to
Like,
stop
I
at every
know where the
mailbox.
stops are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, maybe Tesla will, or maybe the laws will change to the point where we
Again,
can
man,
forget about
this is where the alcohol companies, Anheuser-Busch, InBev, what the fuck are they now? Jack Daniels, all these, companies should get together and lobby, because the way the laws are written right now, it's complete bullshit. If you're in an autonomous car, and look at the ones, and God, I can't remember the name of them, out in L.A., Vegas right now, there's no steering wheel. There's
no
4
driver.
seats.
Yep.
You get in the car and it's like a conference room. It's like 2 opposing seats.
Yeah.
Or 4 opposing seats, and you sit in there and you go where the car is programmed to go. Now I'm a firm believer in the technology because I work in that industry. Especially with the robotic stuff, and I understand LiDAR. I understand pre-programmed routes and stuff like that. But why is there a law that says a sober person's got it? What, in this case, this is a brilliant example, but why does a sober person have to be in a fucking vehicle that doesn't even have a fucking steering wheel?
Yeah, I don't know.
Talk to me about this.
I don't know.
I heard that I got a buddy of mine at work that he's real into tech stuff. He'd be a real interesting person actually to have on here because he knows a lot about tech stuff. And
Dude, let's
he's
bring him
super-
in.
He's
Let's
super
bring him in.
smart, and but he was saying that a lot of Tesla right now has to have a some of the autonomous like Ubers, or I don't know if it might not be Uber, but it's something that you order, you know, like Lyft or Uber.
Mhm.
And in some cities, you're ordering an autonomous car. They say, well, Tesla, I think he said right now has to have a driver, not a driver. Well, they're in the driver's seat and there is a steering wheel, but they have this little like pod they have to have their hand on just in case something happens. It must be like a law, like a liability thing. But there's the other brand, I can't remember what they're called.
This is the one I'm talking about.
The one that has the you see this car.
It looks like a
coming
big
too, buddy.
square.
It's like-
Yeah.
You know,
It comes to you, and there's things like on
And
the
you
top,
couldn't
like,
drive. No human could
There,
drive it.
yeah, there
Yeah, there's-
is, like I said, there's 2 seats in the front facing rear, and there's 2 seats in the rear facing
Yeah.
front. There
It's
is
like a
no
carriage.
steering wheel. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like the Hateful Eight
You know,
on the way to the barn or whatever. It's like a carriage, you know, but you just have to imagine there's horses in there. But yeah, it's pretty. I was in one in San Francisco when we went to the Supercross race a couple of years ago. And that's the first one I rode in. I think it was actually like a Jaguar or a Volvo that had a contract,
okay.
and they had whatever the autonomous driving company was.
I didn't get. I can't remember the name.
You know
of
when
it.
it's coming because this car looks nerdy as all get out.
Yeah, like I said, it's a
But-
big square, man. It's
Yeah.
you know, a square on wheels.
Yeah.
but it's cool. It's pretty neat. But
I'm fascinated by the technology.
Yeah,
don't get me
in
wrong.
cities, I think
except
it's
for the
pretty
fact
cool.
it's electric. Fuck those guys.
in the
Sorry.
city, I think it would work good as long. But where we are, it's very there's a lot of rural meets metropolitan type.
Yeah,
driving,
yeah.
And so it kind of messes up some things, you know.
One
Eventually,
of the,
technology will catch up.
I would hope so. One of the things we talked about on our last podcast, I believe, and goddamn, I should know this. I just edited it last night and set it up. When I was in China, and we're talking about actually possibly investing and doing something with this. We went to a bar one night. I was in Haikou, and my boss his name was Adios. I'll get to that later. We went to a bar / restaurant, and we had dinner, and we had a bunch of drinks. Well, my boss drove that night. Okay. And at the end of the night, the people who drank called cabs, you know, and my boss made a phone call to this guy, a service that actually drove a motorized scooter out to the location, and then got off the scooter, folded it up, threw it in the back of his car, and drove him home. And I'm like, dude, that is fucking brilliant,
perfect,
man. Yeah,
man.
we talked about it, man. So
You're at home. Your
What-
car's at home.
yeah,
I've
Yeah.
thought a couple times about
Yeah.
if I drive to a bar after work, and if I just like got a cab home that night and left my car there. If I had a scooter, now,
Exactly.
I could just drive my scooter to my truck, load the scooter up. I only have to have a taxi one way.
Yeah.
But if it folded up, that'd be cooler because you could even take the
Exact-
scooter
right,
with you. and
right.
You ain't gotta.
But again, think of a service that would do this for you. You don't have to leave your car there. You pay this dude, you know, I don't know, 20, 25 bucks. He comes to your location. He drives you and your vehicle home, unpacks his scooter, and he's on his way to the next ride.
yeah, I mean, pretty cool.
What do we call it? Night riders?
Yeah.
If you do have it called Night Riders, you have to have something on your stuff that goes back and forth with the red light.
Oh,
Ticker,
I'm
ticker,
loving it,
ticker.
dude. I'm loving this. I'm
You gotta
loving
have
this.
that.
Yes, we got to have that red light. Yeah.
And your logo has to be like David Hasselhoff, somehow his silhouette or something. That's
No,
very
dude, we would use the David Hasselhoff video of him drunk on the bathroom floor with a cheeseburger.
Oh, that's right. Yes. What country is it where they love him so much?
Germany.
What?
Germany.
Why are they in love with David Hasselhoff
And
in Germany?
you know why? He's
Uh,
a singer.
I know that, but
I forgot that.
Yeah, he's a
Yes.
singer.
And he's like
And he
he's like
made it
a
big in
rock
Germany.
star, an idol in Germany, you know. Yeah, go figure. So on that note, man, we are going to call it a night, man.
Yeah.
We are way over time and probably over budget, but you know, we'll take that up with the accountant department later. So anyways, you guys have a good weekend and stay safe during the snowpocalypse. And we'll catch you guys next time.
While you collect your claim.
Carry on.
Listen, you'll find the truth. It's staring back at you and know that it's life, it's not what it's